was able to at least get through the 90 minutes. But I also think that, one, we didn't find him in dangerous enough pockets for him to really do the things that I think he's good. I still think that he's trying to figure out, what we want to do offensively and how he fits into that. So I didn't think it was, a fantastic debut for him, but he's a really good player that I think is going to do a lot of positive for us this season.
Yeah, just to jump off on that, whether you mentioned some of your thoughts, what he does well, just how do you envision him working in your system? I noticed him on the left, I noticed him on the right, I noticed him centrally.
I see him mostly as one of those 10 positions, right, that Panos and Danny have been playing in quite a bit. I think he offers us something a little bit different, right? I think Danny's different than Panos. I think Faisal's different than both of them in certain ways. So it's nice to have 3 guys for 2 spots right now. I think they can all kind of play a little bit in the 6 if we need them as well. So they're very versatile in that sense. But yeah, I do think that it just offers us something a little bit different. I don't know exactly if I see him mostly on the left or on the right. I know like a guy like Panos that is left-footed, he feels more confident and more comfortable on the right side of the field, but that's not necessarily always the case for all the left and right-footed players. I actually like playing more on the right with my right foot. And so we'll see kind of, the chemistry between the players, how they interact, how they fit with one another. But yeah, my decision's definitely not made yet as to where we think he can play. I do think he can play probably in any of those 4 central positions, though, for sure.
You guys signed Ali to a full contract this week. Talk about his play today and also why he's become such an important part of the team.
I mean, he's a great footballer. Reads the game really well, has a very good touch on the ball, has a desire to play forward and find those vertical passes. He's just got a lot of quality, right? And I think the sky's the limit for him. At 20 years old, the ability that he has had to improve in each and every game and take in information. He's a coachable kid. He learns. He picks things up. I think he makes the players around him better. So, it was a no-brainer to get him signed to a pro contract. I have a lot of ambition for him to find a lot of success in his career, and I'm excited to continue to work with him. I'm just, it's always exciting and a really positive challenge when you get to work with players from a young age and try and give them as much information that you learned as a player yourself and see kind of what they can do with it, right? And you start seeing certain things blossoming in terms of ideas that he's, improving on from game to game. And again, I just think he's got a ton of talent. Sky's the limit for that kid.
Yeah, I got a couple more. Jurgen Damm exited at halftime. Is he okay? I know he's had a little trouble with himself.
Yeah, he's okay. I don't think he picked up anything new, but his ankle still wasn't 100%. I think he expected it to feel better than it did. So it was a little bit surprising, but I didn't get any of the medical part of it yet, but it looked like he was a little uncomfortable during that first half. And so, we want to make sure that we give him opportunities to get back into health and fitness. So we wanted to give him at least 45. I was hoping to keep him in a little bit longer, but, because of the fact that it didn't quite look like himself, I felt that it made sense to bring him off and not make anything worse.
Right. And I got last one. Bit of a break now until August 9th, and the team's in a pretty good run of form. Just how do you manage that, not losing that form when you guys return?
I mean, I don't know if there's I can't tell you there's an answer. Hey, if we do this, then we for sure keep our form, and if we don't, right? So, what I told the guys is exactly what I told you guys in here about this performance. I thought we lacked a lot of our qualities going forward. I think it's important that we do we have 3 days of training now. We have a 5-day break after that in terms of the mental health break that we're giving all the players. And then we get back here on the Monday leading up to the Colorado Springs. And again, it's probably going to be the case every time, but the Colorado Springs game to me is the most important game of the season, right? We play a team that's below us in the standings at home. It's going to look a lot similar, I think, in certain moments to that second half where, they're playing defensively. And so it's important to get the first goal. It's important to be dynamic in the attack. It's important to not give up those opportunities in behind us defensively. And we got to make sure that those guys understand. And I think they do. I think they understand, it's a 13-game season. We're in a spot that I consider it to be a great spot in American sports because you literally have to, you're in the ninth position looking up at the rest of the table. You need to have at least in top 8 performance probably for the last 13 games to make it into the playoffs. And if you do that, if you do it the right way, then that means you're trending in the right direction once you get there. So, for any player that's not motivated by that, they probably don't belong to be here. So I think everybody should be raring to go when we get back.
Come on, you got another one? You good?
Not me.
Doug, go ahead.
Talking about, it's been about 2 months, so how do you feel like, you're talking about today, today might have been a little bit of a step back, but how do you feel like, the ideas you came in, the pressing, the attacking, like, how do you feel like that's been, is received by the whole team? How do you feel like that is going to help you going forward?
I think it's been received really positively. I've had nothing negative to say about the way that these players have, first taken me in, right? Because I 2 months ago I was an outsider, right? And getting to know the players, they've opened up, they've, been honest, truthful, telling me about not only just soccer, but like their lives, who they are, families, what motivates them, all those kind of things. And it's exciting to build those relationships with them. And then from the soccer perspective, they've been extremely open, right? Trying to understand the ways that I see the game, the ways that I want to play the game with the players that we have, with the quality that those players have. And yeah, I do think you're right. It's a step back in the sense that we didn't do the things at as high of a level as we have in the past, but those only emphasize and accentuate the need for us to continue to talk about those things, right? How do we become a better attacking team when we're down? Right? What kind of things do we have to evolve in and improve in? What kind of training sessions do we have to run so that guys can kind of start seeing, okay, this is a moment that we can kind of take advantage of in games like this. And so, it's kind of what I told these guys a couple weeks ago when we lost to Phoenix, where winning feels really good and it adds proof of concept to the things that you're working on. But losing is where if you are a good player and a good team, it's where you learn the most. You can't just lose. You got to lose and then tap into what did we not do well? What do we need to improve on? How do we improve in those things? And obviously, as a coaching staff, that's where we come in, right? And hopefully have an answer for these guys. And so I do think step backs are important. And you got to make sure that now you can take 2 steps forward, right? So you can get further up than you were last week. So that's the challenge in being a player and being a coach in a professional environment. But it's something I think that all these guys and myself, we love, and this is what we live for. So it's exciting to have games like this so that we can go and what do we not do well? What can we get better at?
One more? Is all good? All good?
It's really,
Yeah, go ahead.
so you're only 4 points back from possibly having a home, being in the top 4. Is that, I'm sure you like the table stuff, but is that something you're kind of maybe hoping for, possibly?
Hoping, man, I hope we win the USL championship. I don't care if we finish in first or in 8th, but if we're at the dance, then let's get all the way to the final and win it all. But I think as a human being, yeah, sure. I know what the table looks like. I'm a guy that as a player always knew what the table looked like. I know, I watch every game, almost every game that I can. And so, yeah, is there that hope there, far in the distance? Sure. But it's not something that I think we actively talk about or pursue from a week-to-week basis, right? It's about being super dedicated and focused to what this game proves to us and what we need to improve on and what things we need to be focused on for Colorado Springs. And where the chips fall, that's where we start back up the following week, right? And I think that's kind of the mentality every week.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, guys. If you wanted to start with your overall thoughts on tonight's performance and result of the team.
I mean, disappointing to lose, obviously. I think, I think it's just focus on. We have like a 4 or 5 day break now, so just go into it with the right attitude. Try to take a little breather, reset, and then focus on the league. So now it's all league games. So just focus on the league and try to keep climbing the rankings and are obviously get into playoffs and then have a good playoff run and all that. So yeah, just bounce back from it. Yeah.
John, fire away.
Yeah, Ali, we'll talk about the game in a second, but got your contract. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The last time we talked actually was after you scored the game-winning goal against El Farolito. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I think back to that as such a wholesome and new moment. I bring that up just to ask, how is your mentality now? Does it still feel, has the newness worn off of being a pro soccer player and all that? Because that was such a long time ago now.
Yeah, I think it's like it's great to be recognized with the contract. It definitely feels good, but it's like being mid-season is you kind of just got to focus on the season and trying to do everything. Focus on every week, trying to play good. Because we have like the larger goal of going into playoffs, doing well, like I said. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like it's kind of worn off. Like I felt like I've been part of the team, especially this whole season coming in. Because I started in preseason. Like last year, I didn't do preseason, so this year, kind of starting from the get go with the first team. I feel like everyone's integrated me well. So I feel I felt like a part of the team. But definitely the contract helps that more, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of compare your mentality back when you scored that goal that
Yeah.
year compared to where you are now as
Yeah.
a person. Even.
Yeah, I mean, that was like literally my first, like barely understood the first team, like totally new to it. Like I had no idea really, like I was barely training, literally first like 15 minutes of playing. So I was very new to it. It was a great moment. And then now it's like, I feel like I want to be like an important member of the team, trying to help us win, trying to just do my best for the team. And back then it was like, I was just happy to just step on the field, So now it's definitely like, okay, like now I'm here. I have to not only like not feel like a newcomer, but kind of try to put myself in the same shoes as everyone else and trying to have a positive impact and be like anyone else on the team.
So with the coaching change, one of the biggest, if not by far the biggest, change has been you taking this full step into the starting lineup and kind of asserting yourself as a key piece of this team looking like going forward. How was that first couple of weeks for you and that transition, but also being able to, when did you realize, this is like the point where this is mine now, like the midfield and a whole bunch of things? When did that come together for you?
Honestly, I feel like every week I still feel like every week I'm fighting for my spot. There's so many good players in the midfield and everyone's good. Everyone wants to play. So it's like, I still feel like every week I kind of have to prove myself in training and play to the best of my ability to be able to start on the weekend. But I think I definitely do feel like I need to continue to perform on the weekend and during the week to keep that spot. I don't feel like it's like solidified. I don't feel like anyone's spot is like solidified. I think the coaching staff, like they know we have quality, we have depth. So like, they're not afraid to make a change. They're not afraid to put someone else in, take someone off at half. So it's like, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you sharp. And it's like every week just trying to prove myself. I think everyone feels the same way. Because I mean, everyone on the team's a good player. So it's like, if you're not performing, someone else will, and the coaching staff will make that change. So, yeah.
So Benny was just in here and he asked them, and we asked him, and he said the sky's the limit for you. How does it feel to have a coach that has that kind of faith in where you are now, where you can be as a player?
Yeah, honestly, it's like, for example, like just him like playing me the first week. it was like really unbelievable, like trust in me. And I really do feel blessed that to have a coaching staff that really does believe in me. And it's like, it really just gives me the confidence to go out there and be able to do my best. And it also gives you that like, okay, like I need to do right by them. Cause like they're giving me this step, they're giving me this responsibility. So it's like, I need to go out there and kind of like they're helping me. So I have to help them. So it's, but it's honestly unreal to have the support and the trust from the coaching staff like that. It really is a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the coaching staff. You undersaw a big change, after, Gavin Clinton to Benny Fieldhopper. What has it been like in the locker room during this transition and, have people come together and so on and so forth?
Yeah. I feel like we've always been like a good locker room. I feel like we've always been together. And yeah, I think we're just trying to do our best, with whoever's the coach, and support them. They're supporting us. I feel like we've handled the change well, and just like trying to implement the coach's vision, and do what the coach wants us to do. Because I mean, we have trust in him, he has trust in us, so it's like we're just trying to do right by him. And yeah, I feel like we've handled it pretty well, and I think we have more room to grow, and we have a lot of things to improve on. So I think we'll continue to improve on it. Everyone's motivated, everyone wants to do well, so I think we'll keep going in a positive direction.
One more guy. Yeah, Doug.
Just watching you today, you seem really comfortable in really tight situations. Trying to connect it and not losing the ball. Like, talk a little bit about when you're on the field. Like, how comfortable do you feel like getting in those situations where some players might be a little bit frustrated, where you're like you have that time, or you seem like have that ability to just kind of get yourself control the ball and just get it into a positive space.
Yeah. I think my whole life, like I've been more of a player that like I don't necessarily like, I can't necessarily beat someone with pace or like just like run through players. So I kind of had to be more technical, more clean on the ball. And it's like I've grown up playing futsal, and I've kind of always grown up playing in tight spaces. So I think that's helped me. Now it's like my game has transitioned, and still being able to be good in tight spaces is important for me, because it's like I'm not gonna like sprint by you and kick the ball. So I kind of have to adapt and be good there, and just have a good understanding of what's around me. But I think it's something I still need to improve on. Like a lot of moments, just to be more aware, more focused. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a strength, but also a weakness. Like not a weakness, but like it's a strength, but also a lot of room to improve on it. So, yeah.
John, one more.
Yeah, just at least one question about the game.
Yeah.
It's we talked to Benny. You guys look good moving down the wide channels. A lot of centering passes that were just cleared off, couldn't get the final touch. Just what are your thoughts on how the game plan was, the execution, and what are some things you think could have been cleaned up?
Yeah. I think overall, I think we're like just a couple steps off it, kind of just all around. I think we're a little bit too slow and coach was telling us like just a little bit quicker to move the ball, because Orange County was sitting back more at times. So it's like we needed to move the ball a bit quicker, try to shift them. And I mean, I think just not quite dynamic enough. But I think we had the right attitude going into the game. I feel like there was some good ideas there, but it just sometimes is difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think the systems all come together?
I think it's good. I enjoy playing in it. I think it's a good system. I feel like we have clear ideas of what we want to do, and I feel like we've been implementing them pretty well. There's a lot of moments. We have like a lot of good moments in these games. I think now it's just putting together a full performance, defensively, offensively. But I do think our system, I think it suits us well. And I think we have a lot of potential to grow with the system. But yeah, I mean, I think it's fun to play in it for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.